Can you make a full-time living making videos with your smartphone? And it doesn't matter if it's an iPhone or an Android phone. I recently sat down with one of our members of Smartphone Filmmaking Pro. Her name is Lilly, and she actually turned her passion and her skills making videos with her smartphone into her full-time career. She's actually a full-time smartphone filmmaker these days, and I recently sat down with her and I asked her some questions like how is she approaching new clients and what do people actually say when she comes up with just an iPhone and not with like some big ass cameras. This was definitely a very interesting conversation. I will link all her socials and her website and all of that down below so that you can check out what she's creating for her clients, like I said, just with her iPhone. I'm also super proud to say that yes, she is a student of Smartphone Filmmaking Pro, so maybe some of the things that she is producing right now comes a bit from our course. So in case that's interesting to you, in case you also want to bring your smartphone videos to the next level, then you can check out our totally free webinar where I share the top 5 secrets to making better videos using your smartphone. But now enjoy the conversation with Lilly, and I'll talk to you in the next one. So Lilly, thank you very much. Thanks for coming over. Could you please just introduce yourself, tell us a bit what you're doing, and yeah, let's move on from there.
Thanks for having me, first of all. Yes, my name is Lilly. I'm from Austria and I'm a member of Smartphone Filmmaking Pro, of course. And I'm a filmmaker and I do smartphone filmmaking every day, all the time. And yes, earn my money with it.
So you only film with smartphones and accessories and no proper cameras?
Yes, only with an iPhone 13 Pro Max at the moment.
Okay.
And I also have drones and GoPros and so on, but everything on the ground is filmed with an iPhone. Okay,
very interesting. And why are you using just a smartphone? Why did you pick the niche of smartphone filmmaking compared to a regular camera?
I started a few years ago filming my holidays with my iPhone, and the people loved my videos, and so I continued the videos. And yes, after a while, I decided to found my own company and start a business. And because of the many advantages of smartphone filmmaking, I still film with an iPhone.
Okay, and what are the advantages that you find when filming with a smartphone? Like I said, compared to I'm a professional filmmaker, so to say, so we are always using the big cameras, but maybe you can share a bit of what you feel are the benefits of shooting with a smartphone compared to the big cameras.
First of all, you are way more flexible. You just grab in your pocket and have the smartphone.
Yeah.
And also the equipment is way more light, so you don't have to get a big truck or something for all the equipment. And I think all the people act way more natural in front of the camera because everyone knows how it's like to be in front of a smartphone camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point, because when we're filming with people that are not super experienced in front of the camera, you can feel that they get nervous, especially if you come with big lights and microphones and everything. I think that's definitely a big benefit of shooting with a smartphone. And also the light or the weight, this is just super tiny and it basically weighs nothing, and you can bring it always with you. So do you have any background with filmmaking, or did it just start with, like you said, as a hobby when you were filming your holidays?
No, it just started as a hobby. So a few years ago, I already was in my holiday. And I thought, okay, why? I could make a video. I could make a video about my holiday. And I just did that. And it turned out really good for the first time. And yes, so no background at all in filmmaking.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's also a big benefit of shooting with a smartphone, is that it's helping you a lot. If I give someone a professional camera and they have never used one, I think it's very difficult to get an appealing image. But with a smartphone, if you are just starting out and you're using the auto mode, I think it already looks very, very good for, regular standards.
Yes, it's really easy, and you can start every time or anytime. And you see on the screen, you see the beautiful colors. You see it on a big screen, so you see what you're filming, and you can also edit the stuff also on your phone.
Yeah.
So you have an all-in-one system.
Yeah, it's definitely very convenient. Do you use the native app for shooting, or are you using like Filmic Pro or the Beastcam app or whatever?
I actually use my native camera app, which surprises a lot of people. But I think the quality is so good, and I don't know if you have heard that Filmic Pro has a new system.
Model,
yes, and I don't like it. So I started using Filmic Pro, and then I was like, okay, no, I stay with the
with the native app. Yeah, I think that's very interesting, and also a lot of people that are purchasing the course, they think like, okay, to get like to the next level, they need to be using like Filmic Pro or whatever. But funny enough, even myself, like for maybe 90-80% for all of the videos that I'm making with my smartphone, I'm also just using the native camera app, because I think the one thing that is the most important is to lock the focus and the exposure. I think that basically makes or breaks the video, in my opinion, because if you have the changing in exposure, and I don't like that, I think that looks amateurish. And the one thing that I'm missing with the native camera app that I'm hoping someday we can lock that is the white balance.
Yeah.
That's something that I feel like this would be an easy fix for Apple to add this. And if you're using an Android phone, then even with the native camera app, you can lock this. So that's a big benefit. But, for most other scenarios, the native camera app will do just fine. And like you said, the usability, the easiness is just press on the frame rate or the resolution, and it changes within seconds. So it's very intuitive.
Yes, I think it's the future of filmmaking, actually. And all the professional filmmakers roll their eyes when I say this. But there is a big trend coming from America. There are also some movies in the cinema that were filmed with an iPhone. And when you go into YouTube, there are so many comparisons for a professional camera and an iPhone, and often you don't even see the difference.
Yeah.
So it is coming. It's not already here yet, but it's coming.
I think we could discuss on that. I think when it comes to the social media aspect of filming, I think there the transition is already happening. I think 80% of all the videos that you can watch online were already shot with any mobile device. But I just think it's different tools for different purposes. Even when we were filming for our regular clients, then we oftentimes use the smartphone for certain shots when it's just easier to just use the smartphone, or when you cannot bring a big camera. But I think making a full-on movie with audio and light, I think then the phone is pretty limited, because just monitoring the audio when you're filming. I think you can do it. You need an adapter when you get like 2 lightning outputs. It does work, but it's just a bit of it's not that nice, to be honest. Compared that to a regular camera, when you just have, XLR inputs like we're doing right now. Both of these audio tracks are recorded into my camera, so I do not have to sync up anything. And that's why I'm saying I think it's like different tools for different purposes, but I 100% agree that it's becoming more and more, and especially for the online world, a phone is more than enough.
Yes, I also think so.
That's great. I think also a lot of people are asking me what they need for starting a YouTube channel. What would you recommend someone that wants to start a YouTube channel? Do you think that someone needs more than a phone?
You mean for filming himself?
Yeah,
for an interview or something, or filming?
I think something like vlogging and maybe some talking heads.
No, he only needs a phone.
Something that I would add to that is maybe something like this cheap softbox.
Yeah.
This is like, I don't know, $30 or something. So I think that's pretty much a no-brainer, because you can just light yourself and it will look way better. And further down the road, I think not at the beginning, but further down your path of becoming a YouTuber, I would also invest into some good microphones. Because I don't know how you see this, but for me, whenever I see or hear a video that was recorded with the internal microphone and the distance is too far off, I can't listen to this, to these kinds of videos. So I think audio is very important, but other than that.
Absolutely. You need a few things, but that's it. So under $100, you have everything. You need a tripod, maybe. You need maybe a rig to put the phone on the tripod, a light, as you mentioned, and some microphone, but that's it.
Yeah.
And
Is that your shooting kit that you use when you're filming with your clients? Or do you have anything fancy?
I have a very fancy gimbal.
Okay.
You really need a gimbal because it's way more smooth when you walk. I have some lights, I have a tripod, I have some lenses, but I never used them, to be honest. And I think that's it. A microphone, of course. Yes, that's my equipment.
Yeah. And I think that's also pretty much all that you need. I think with lighting, you can just manipulate the image way more. Like if we were turning on these tube lights, we could create a completely different mood. But when it comes to just capturing the moment in a nice way so that it looks nice, like you said, I think like one light, maybe two, depending on the scenario that you're filming, is more than enough.
Yes, and the people are every time surprised because this is not a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
And the final video turns out great if you use it.
So what kinds of videos do you make for your clients? And who are your clients usually?
Mm-hmm. So a few years ago, I started out with holiday videos, as I mentioned. And these videos were also were already like an advertising for the destination. So like an image video a little bit. And I started with image films for different kind of companies. And now I see that the companies really need social media content. And this is a big thing, and they request it all the time. Yeah. And so I would say image films, social media content, maybe some event films or recruiting videos. I started filming a lot for doctors or lawyers. And then after a while, the range is way more.
Okay, so now your client is basically any business that needs some kind of video.
Yes, it could be anyone at the moment.
Very interesting. And how do you approach new clients, or are they coming towards you? What's the regular process looking like for you?
It depends. Some people come over recommendations. Some clients come over social media. Sometimes I do cold calling.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's really mixed up.
Okay. And what would you recommend because we have a lot of people inside of the course that want to start smartphone filmmaking as a bit of a side hustle. What would you recommend to them to get their first 1, 2, 3 clients?
I would start with free films.
Okay.
And my dad, when he heard it that I work for free, was like, okay, you can't do this. You have to earn some money. I would recommend it because people get to know you and the film, a lot of people see the film and you
build a relationship with them.
Yes, and you get used to the process and so on. So maybe do 3 to 4 free films for maybe different
types
areas. And then when you have a feedback from them and they say, hey, the video turned out really good and I liked it and so on, you could charge maybe 500 euros and then you go to 800 euros and then so you have to make it step by step. I would recommend this way. Yeah,
I would 100% agree on that. That's also what we teach is free to fee. So basically start off for free and then by the time you have, it's also important that people can see what your work looks like because nobody just wants to buy, something they don't know. So I think these days it's also very important to build a social media, not necessarily a huge following, but just a social media page where people can see your work and where they can see that you're legit with the type of videos that you're making. And like you said, if you are starting out and you do not have any clients, then starting off for free, because then the amount of effort it takes for the business to start working with you is basically zero, because they're getting a video for free. And then, most business, that's also something that, in my opinion, is neglected by a lot of people, is business owners know other business owners usually. So if you come into the circle of working with, I don't know, doctors, you can be pretty sure that this doctor has like 5 other doctor friends that might as well need a video.
Yeah, this is very true. Yes.
So yeah, very, very interesting. Do you have any tips, tricks, hacks for better videos? Do you have like a magic formula for making your videos look better, or like make them look the way they look now?
A magic formula. For interviews, for example, I always use the cinematic mode, and I think this is a little bit like a magic tool, because it looks way more professional because you have the blurred background. Yeah. Maybe you have some magical tools.
My magic formula that I'm always recommending is just shooting the B-roll with movement, so with a gimbal, and 60 frames per second, and then slow it down in the post-production.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's the magic formula, because amateurs that don't spend too much time, educating themselves about filmmaking in general, they don't know this. So if you are using this type of trick, then you already, then you are already a bit more professional than the regular guy, in my opinion at least. And having people that are interacting, that are laughing, having this in slow motion with movement.
And also kids and dogs always work really good.
All right. So one more question that I have for you is, when you show up to a shooting location and a business is actually paying you money, what do they say when they notice that you're just filming with your smartphone and not with the big cameras like they're used to, seeing in the past?
I get this question really often. At the beginning, I told them before we started shooting at the meeting 1 week before, oh, and by the way, I shoot with an iPhone, and told them a few advantages of it. And they were like, oh, okay, cool. But only after they saw my videos. So they saw my videos, said, oh, great, I love it. And then I was, oh, and by the way. And then I thought, but why do we need to tell them? Because if you film with a Canon or Sony, no one is interested which brand it is. Yeah. And then, yes, I don't mention it anymore. So I show the films and so on, and then I show up, and you need to be very confident, because people are surprised. But I never had a bad experience. Okay. So they're like, oh, you film with an iPhone, cool. But you hear it when you speak with people in the business, which film way more professional. They sometimes smile and they say, oh, okay, you film with an iPhone. Okay. Bye. So it depends.
Yeah, I also think if you're filming for a business that has 10,000 employees and it's making $1 billion in revenue, I think still for social media purposes, totally fine. But for like the official image film, they will probably spend like $100,000 on that. So I think it always depends on the business that you're working with. But like you said, just be confident and always fake it till you make it is like what I like to say. So if people want to see your work, where can they find it?
They can find me on social media, on Instagram, for example, under Lika_films. Yes, this is my company. It's called Lika Films, and you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
And also website, right?
Of course, also my website.
Perfect. And thank you very much for coming. Very, very interesting. Good luck for the future. Lots of success.
Thank you.
And
for
we will
having me.
put links to all her social media and website and everything below this video. If you have any more questions, make sure to let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.